So a couple days ago, you've probably seen my video where I talk about Sneako just being the dirtbag he is known to be. I also show a quick little clip of him not reacting to someone saying that they should be able to marry a minor.
Well, if you were to be intimate with a 14-year-old or 13-year-old who's got huge hips and huge breasts and huge body, I mean, quite frankly, we would say it's not going to have the same effect medically. I mean, no one can make the argument.
And almost right after uploading that, I got recommended another video of Sneako, only this time it's him talking about how the age of consent should be lowered. Now this is one of those TikTok clips where the subtitle editing is just fucking outrageous, so I actually went and found the original clip from this channel Digital Social Podcast by Sean Kelly. This particular video came out 2 weeks ago, but I guess people are just now scrolling to the part of the video labeled age of consent debate and are like, hey, this guy kind of sounds like a pedophile. So the whole video is about 40 minutes, but about 25 minutes in is when the conversation segues into the age of consent.
You debated Destiny too, right?
All the time, yeah.
What was your takeaway from that?
From which one?
I guess the most recent one.
That he's good at, like, he's very disingenuous, right? Like, we actually agree on the age of consent,
Okay.
but he played... he was pretending to disagree with me to trap me and to try to make me look bad for optics. Even though what I said was true, like the age of consent is different all over the world.
Now, anytime somebody starts off their argument with the age of consent is different all around the world, most likely means that they are comfortable with marrying a child had the marriage laws changed for any reason. Like, if you're not a pedophile, then I don't see why you would look at another country's age of consent laws and be like, yeah, I mean, if they're doing it, then why don't we just copy them? And even just looking at a map of each state's age of consent laws, we can get rid of all the states who think 16-year-old is fine. It wouldn't affect how we operate. We can literally do without the Midwest and Texas. Unless fucking Sandy Cheeks is coming to save y'all, you can get the fuck out.
I said the age of consent should be maturity. Like, sticking to this, it's 18, it's 18. Well, it's not even 18 in most states. So why do you even believe that? It's because it is in Hollywood. California, it's 18, so then that gets pushed everywhere. But all over the world, I think Japan, 16, most places 16. So why do you believe in 18? Well, it doesn't really go past that. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo.
So I like how most people really only bring up Japan when it comes to the age of consent being 16. But when you look at the world as a whole, when you look at every country who has the age of consent at 16 or lower, you look like a fucking idiot comparing us to them. Like, the age of consent in Estonia is 14. What the fuck could they possibly be doing in Estonia to where, like, yeah, I think they got the right idea with their age of consent laws. I think we gotta copy and paste what they're doing in Estonia. Like, in the Solomon Islands, it's 15 years old, and it's like they probably have it that age because the people over there don't live past the fucking 30. That was it. They don't live past the age of 30. Stop comparing the US to other countries we use as a vacation dump spot. That's where we take our exotic shits, you know what I mean? That's one of the places we flush our exotic shits. And just because it's 18 in Hollywood doesn't mean that everyone's going to follow what Hollywood does. If you haven't heard, there's a bunch of pedophiles running around Hollywood. So your point is moot. Word of the day.
And I still stick to that. What I said in the debate was, I believe the age of consent is the age of maturity. If you're mature, you're ready, then you're ready to engage and have a good relationship. Actually, I don't even think that it should be called the age of marriage. It shouldn't be the age of consent. Age of consent implies that you're gonna have sex out of wedlock. If it's the age of marriage and the marriage age was maturity, then people could avoid this problem a lot more than they get involved in.
Wow, that's an interesting take, because some people are very mature at like 14, 15, 16. So you're saying they should be able to have sex with whoever, like in their 20s?
I think it's better that people get married at an age like 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital sex until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs.
Calling a 16-year-old washed up for having sex before marriage because you didn't want that much wear and tear on them for when you snatch them up at 18 is fucking weird. And notice how he avoids the question this guy asked about people being mature at 14 and 15 and then right away just goes like, yeah, people who are 16 and 17 deserve to get married. That's not what he asked you, dog. That's not what he asked you. And also what he means by age of maturity is basically when a girl has her period, which is from the ages 10 to 15 years old. That is disgusting that he thinks just because a girl is mature enough, she's ready to marry that 30-year-old man, or better yet, another 10-year-old. What could go wrong? Anyone using other countries as a blueprint for why we should lower the age of consent is an idiot. The places that have it lower than 18 are idiots. Oh, and why is that? Is it because you don't agree with them? Because you're offended by how they live their lives? And it's like, no, it's because I don't want to marry someone who can't even drive their car without a fucking adult being present. If you haven't seen my first video on Sneako, or I meant not the first one, but the previous one, I'll put a motherfucking link in the comments. A little bit too much. I'll put a link in the comments. But until then, see you guys tomorrow. Peace. I'm getting Jack in the Box. Peace. I'm getting a smash burger from Jack in the Box. Peace.